So, as promised, I have a few stories about this hellish place that we call school. When it comes to technology, our school is clueless. The computers that a school owns are remarkably out of date. I do realize that public schools only get a set amount of money, and technology wouldn't be the prominent concern for a school, but wait till you hear the rest. I'm just gonna state what the specs are for the school's potato computers. So the CPU is an Intel Pentium 4 520, which is a single-core processor clocked in at 2.8 GHz. Yes, you heard me correctly, a single-core processor which is running at 2.8 GHz. The computers then have 2 GB of RAM. Well, you see, it's 2 GB of DDR2 RAM at a little under 600 MHz. So there goes my 50 tabs on Chrome. The GPU isn't necessary as I don't expect school technology to be able to play Fortnite on epic settings at 60 FPS. But they did throw an old Intel integrated GMA 950 GPU, which isn't too bad, I guess. This NASA supercomputer is running on the legendary Windows XP operating system. The 80GB hard drive is essentially useless, so our school decided to operate all of the computers on a 32-bit Windows 7 and VMware. This was about 7 years back. Fast forward 4 years and a lot has improved. If spending $91,000 on Chromebooks is called improving, then stating that the human eye can only see 24 FPS wouldn't seem so far-fetched. This decision by our school is the definition of regression. I'm not even joking. Open up a new tab in Chrome with your 2 GB of DDR2 RAM and go to dictionary.com and search up the definition for regression. Our school's decisions would be the definition of regression. This isn't sad enough, I found a much more powerful machine for $56 less than what the Chromebooks costed. It's not overkill, as it is meant to be sufficient enough for a school to use and practical since a school admin can't build 500 PCs. So I found this computer with an i5 2400 quad-core CPU clocked in at 3.1 GHz, 4 GB of DDR3 RAM, and an AMD Radeon HD 6350 standalone graphics card. This seems like the best decision for a school. $56 may not seem like a lot, but you multiply $56 times around 350 computers and you get $19,600, which would save our school a ton of money. This is of course keeping in mind that this is a conservative estimate and the school is now begging parents for another $5,310 for an additional 30 Chromebooks. Now, of course, we wouldn't save $19,600 since you would need to buy a monitor for every computer, but all our school would need is a cheap $25 monitor which you can connect through VGA. So it would cost a little over $8,750 to purchase monitors for all of the computers. If the school did this instead of purchasing all of the Chromebooks, they would save up a total amount of $10,850. This is just my take on what the better option should have been, rather than to make a hasty decision and order a shit ton of Chromebooks. This year, it was a dark year, but nowhere near as dark as what happened last year. So our school still kept their old computers, and I guess them too wanted to upgrade their computers. So they sat down and thought to themselves, our computers would run far better if we spent $6,000 on new monitors for the computers in the library. To be fair, it kind of was a needed replacement to upgrade from our old CRT monitors. Sad thing is that not only did the CRT monitors have a higher resolution than the LCD monitors that the school decided to buy, but it had a higher refresh rate. Also, CRT monitors have less display lag than LCD monitors. That was last year. This year was the final straw. The school upgraded their operating systems of the computers to Windows 10. Like, that will make them faster. Like, seriously, where is the logic for these decisions? The worst part about this is that they migrated to the new version of Windows in February of 2018. Around that time, it was February, March-ish time, and Microsoft officially discontinued their Windows 10 free upgrades in December of 2017. So, you guys were a little bit late on that. I assumed it couldn't get any worse, but it did. Our school then decided to move the computers from laying down horizontally to moving them vertically. Like, again, that was going to be better. But hands down, the worst thing I have ever heard in my 13 years of existing is what the school's tech guy said. He was showing two girls this cool new feature for Google Docs. I seemed a little interested and decided to poke my head in to listen to the excellent advice that the wise one had to say. So he showed them an extension for Google Docs that basically was a fancy way for using 3 keys on your keyboard. I nearly lost it when he tried installing the extension, only for the school to end up blocking the extension. And after all of this, all I can say is that when it comes to technology, our school will always be in a crisis.